We're out and about. We're at the 2016 Gentlemen's Expo. I'm here with the founder of Courage Hockey, Mark DeMontis.
Thank you. Thanks for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
You have an interesting story. I know when you were much younger, you went to the hospital. The doctors diagnosed you with a condition that both your eyes became legally blind. And talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was 17 and I was playing competitive hockey, and out of absolutely nowhere, I was diagnosed with a rare eye condition called Leber's optic neuropathy. What it did was it took away the central sight in both my eyes, so it left me legally blind. My hockey dreams came to an end, and I started playing blind hockey.
Well, I know that Reeboks was the first one to actually send you inline skates. I know that when you started Courage Hockey, your flat broke and everything, you didn't have a dollar to your name. Reebok sent you a skate. I want you to take us from the story from there and how it led to going across Canada.
Yeah, so I wanted to make a difference for blind hockey in the country, and I decided to start a charity called Courage Canada, which is now the Canadian Blind Hockey Association. And what I decided to do was rollerblade from my hometown Toronto across 5 provinces and 5,000 kilometers to Vancouver to raise funds for blind hockey programs across the country. And Reebok hockey was phenomenal. I mean, they gave me inline skates and tons of apparel for our team, and they've had a great successful transition out to CCM, and they continue to support me as an athlete who's a blind hockey player, and that's continued to raise a lot of money. And blind hockey's now growing, and I continue to play the game I love, even despite my visual impairment.
What were some of the stories that when you're traveling across Canada that really stick out in your mind right now that really touched your heart?
I think for me it was a chance to meet a lot of the Canadians and a lot of people with other inspiring stories. I always say it was people that actually continue to motivate me each stride I take, every kilometer. And one family that stood out particularly was meeting another young boy at the time who was 10 who was also visually impaired. Always wanted to play hockey, and that really one story that stood out for me was the fact that I got to start meeting actual people that were impacted by the same situation that I've been impacted by in my own life. And Canadians really motivated me, inspired me, and as a result, I was able to complete my first journey, inline skating 5,000 kilometers. And 2 years later, in 2011, I did another inline skate campaign from Halifax to Toronto, kind of start and finished most of the country from my own community here in Toronto, and again, just raising awareness about blind hockey, and now working as someone launching a new company called Courage Hockey, as you talked about earlier, which is going to bring inspiration to hockey players who need it through their own adversity.
Yeah, I know there's a really great video that you have on your website. I want you to talk about some other stuff that's on your website too.
Yeah, so CourageHockey.com is where you can find everything you need to know about Courage Hockey. We're selling apparel you can buy. We are featuring inspiring hockey players as well. You can follow us on all our social feeds such as Twitter, Facebook. We're on LinkedIn, of course, our Instagram page. And yeah, we're just trying to raise the profile about the Courage Hockey brand in the hockey world, and getting more and more players who to wear the apparel. Players who need that inspiration, who face with adversity themselves. Every day we see players dealing with issues of marginalization from disability, sexuality, gender, ethnicity, the LGBT community. There's always players out there who are facing adversity, and we want to be that source of inspiration for them. We want them to realize that despite their circumstance or their situation, they can still play the game they love and rise above that challenge.
What are some other organizations that you're involved with?
I think the biggest organization right now in my life that I'm focused on is my own company, Courage Hockey. That really is the meat and potatoes of what it is I do every day now. It's continuing to feature inspiring athletes, share my own story, and to be able to sell our apparel. And our apparel is it's pretty vintage style, and more and more people are buying the products. I mean, even just being here at the Gentlemen's Expo, people are coming to the booth and they're buying our shirts, they're buying our hats. I mean, I'm wearing it right now, as you can tell, and sporting it. And I'd say Courage Hockey is really the project I'm most passionate about right now in my life. But I continue to share my story. I'm always talking to groups, and whether it's schools or companies or organizations, whatever it is, I'm always sharing my story, inspiring folks, and definitely to learn more about it. Again, CourageHockey.com is the site to do that.
I want to thank you for your time there, Mark. You're doing an amazing job, and just keep it up.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to the Expo and taking the time to interview me.